So the first part of the daf, we're going to begin from your Testament base. A few cases of incidents that occurred where there was a question about, actually there's a Yeridea question and a Choshen Mishpat question, a din of Mitzia and a din of Basha Shenesalim Min Ayin. So we're up to the last line on your Testament base. Rav Nachas Taman, Rav came to Bavel, and Chamsin Makilin, he saw they were makel and kashrus, the chomer aleim, and he was machmer on them. This is a gemara in Chulin in Kolabasar, where Rav came up with the chomer of basar shenes alim and ayin, meat that was out of sight. Chad bar nash, there was a person, Azal Amid Aleph, Azal boy mishizga askupasa bigoy nahara, the insha. What happened was the river came and it washed away. He was rinsing the meat and it washed it away. He forgot about it and then he went. And Chaza boy Minsave came back and he wanted to take the meat. Amalei Rav Asalacha. No, it's Asa. I'll say Amar, he shotif Nahara, the kosher one, the river pushed away. The icy chur in Avela Tachtoy and something but was no by an Avela showed up. So that's again, it was hidden from the eye, you never know. Therefore, it's meat. Kenzain, it's a different meat, a chumrah of Rav, but a din derabanan, basa shenes alei mina ayin. You're all familiar with the chicken. Why you have that little plumber on that chicken? It came from in a case that had a plumber on it that was kasha because of that. That's the basa shenes alei mina ayin. Chad Barnash, there was this person, Havi Mahalech Beshuka. He was walking in the street. And Toyin Kupad, he was carrying Kupad meat. Asa Dayasa came along a bird of prey. The Chatfasimine chapped it away from him. The Talakte, and it dropped it somewhere. Chazaboy Misfina, he wanted to go ahead and take it. Amalei Rav Asal Chadina. Ama Basan Avela Havetina, the Talkase, Vinasa Hu Achruna. He had Basan Avela, he dropped that one, and this is and when he took away, this is another one. So therefore, yeah, again, the same problem. Gino Shotev Zikin. Gino is the name of a river. Shotev Zikin, it washed away wine, barrels of wine. Also of the Kamid Rabbi Yitzchak, Rebbe Lazar. For Omar, Yechakmun, go see Shefaya Kitaran. See if you recognize the knots. In other words, if there's a simon in these wine flasks, you will be able to use them. If not, we have to be chayish that they came from a goy. So if you have a simon in the knot, it will be permitted. Nikunika, also wine. Ashtich bekanishta, the buvle was found in the kanishta of Buli. Buli is a place, and it was found there. And asa uv the kameder of Yirmiyah again yischakmun sukuria avdison. Go ahead and see if you can recognize the red dye. Seemed to be they painted the bottles, right? They the bottles, flasks that are painted a certain way. Case Azul, for example, a very famous drink has a what's it called? Tequila has a bottle that's a very famous bottle. Gedid sli ashkich be'arsarti the gufta. They found a roasted sli in the main thoroughfare of a town called Gufta, v'tiru, and they matted it for two reasons. Mishum shnei devarim, mishum mitzia, which is a din of choshen mishpat, din imamnis, umishum roiv mahalchet rachim, which is a din of issa v'heter in Yeridea. Mishum mitzia detani hamatzal miyad ari. Someone saved something from a lion, miyad gaius or an invading army. Mishunas hayam from the breakers of the sea. Mishunas hanahar from the rivers. Umisar achu gedoyla in a large avenue. Umiplatu gedoyla hariela shaloi. Why mifnesha bail misyashim mehem. These are places where the baal's miyayish, and therefore what you don't have to worry about mitzia, about choshen mishpat, about taking somebody else's property. And what about Yeridea? Mishum roiv halchid rochim, mishum shchitas nachri. Right? We don't have to worry about shchitas nachri since roiv of the people are Jewish. B'shtakach min the Beis Rebbe, and they found the fact that this meat had been from Rebbe's house, that this Gedid Sli came from Rebbe's house. A similar case, Eagle de Guvna, a round cheese. Eagle de Guvna, it was a cheese, a round cheese. Ishtakech be'pundika the Levi, they found it in the Levi's inn. V'tiru mishum beis devarim. They mattered mishum beis devarim, mishum mitzia, mishum roiv mahalchet rachim. Mishum Mitzia, the same heter as before, right? Mishum Mishum Hamatzal Miaragayas Miarari Mishum Sayam Mishum Nor Misracha Gedolah Misracha Gedolah Hariel Shaloi Nishabayim Misyayish from him because the Baal is Miyayish from them, so they matted it for that reason. And Mishum Roy Mahachet Rachim Mishum Gevinas Nachrim, because of the Gevina of a Nachri. Right, there was the goes on Gevinas and Nachri, the Gemara in Chavtes and Navay Dezara, the Mishnah discusses different reasons. The Rabbi Yaisi, they found that the cheese had born to Rabbi Yaisi. Rav Mana Kumir Rabbi Yaisi Vanan Chaimin Rabbana Machrizin, said Rav Mana in front of Rabbi Yaisi, I saw the Rabbana were machriz, even they found in these places, right? Even though they found in these places, he still was imated. Amalei, in other words, he was machriz, he called out. Even though Lachari had a heter, he called it out. Amalei. So Rav Yaisi said to Rav Mana, At ein havaisa meshkachel in asavda, if you would find it, you wouldn't keep it. Rabbi Yoina Avucha, your father Rabbi Yoina lo yamakein. Halavai kan nishkach pen piyusa v'lgav. Halavai, I should found it in this area. Piyusa seems to be an area that you have the din of a sarti gedola. So his father said, I would keep it. So you're different than your father. I feel kain ashkech v'lei nasiv. Rav Manas, he found it and he taka did not keep it. He was machriz. He called it out, and we end that. Okay, that's the end of Easy Gemara. Okay, now everything was flowing along, right along, little hard words, and that was my problem. But now we have we're speaking here about animals. You're going to find animals in different places where you find them. Going along, we began this quest with what happens if you find money in Yerushalayim? What happens if you find that money on the Harabayas? What happens if so now? What happens if you? We had a din that what happens if you found between the pushkas, right? Now we're going to have animals. So behema shenimsas miyushalayim vad migdal eder, behema that you find from Yerushalayim until Migdal Eder, that was a area outside Yerushalayim. Uchmidas l'chol ruach, whatever that dimensions are in whatever you're going to do it. Let's go back to our Erevin days, in a circle or a square to get the corners. Whatever you're going to in that distance in that area, if you find something zecharim, if they happen to be males, oilos, then they'll have a din of a carbon oila. Nekevos, if they are females, zivche shlamim, then they're going to be shlamim. An oila can be bought only from a male animal. Shlamim can be bought from both. So the Gemara, creates a tremendous problem. Why, if you find a male, though you automatically assume that it's an oila, why didn't we just as easily assume it's a chata, it's a shlamim? Bishleim in the keva, it's a shlamim. But again, in other words, I think we're dealing with fellas with oilas nedarim and nedavos. We're not dealing with a choiv, a chatos or an asham. This is my own opinion. I don't know if it's true. There are animals. A chatos is a female animal, and an asham is a male animal. The Gemara the Mishnah does not assume that one of these animals is an asham or a chatos. Because if you have a choiv, you're going to bring it, and you're not going to move until that animal is brought. Masha'en and you're going to bring it right away because you need it for a kapara. Masha'en an oila and a shlomim, which are, and it's a donation, it's a nedava, right? So you can write the check right away out to the shul. Sometimes you're not as quick to do it. So the possibility of being around and escaping is greater by an oila and a shlomim than it is by a chatas or an asham, because that's a choiv that you're going to want to bring. That's just my opinion. I don't know if it's true. Rabbi Yehuda says, haroy l'psachim, if it's a roy l'pesach, if it's a goat or a sheep that's a male and less than a year old, psachim, koydin l'regel, psachim, koydin l'regel yamid yoim. Okay, if it's 30 days before the regel, when there's a din of learning Hilchos Pesach, and we saw in Masechet Pesachim that there's a chalois of Pesach at that time. It's not stamasai. It's not just a halacha. There's the din of Pesach at that time, and therefore it will have a din of a carbon Pesach. Now, you're a nice guy, right? You found this card, you found this zachar, it's an oila. So what do? You bring it to Beis HaMikdash, and you bring it as a carbon. What does the guy say to you? Where's the nesachim? Where's the mincha? Where's the wine? Where's the oil? Where's the flour? And you're going to say, me? What? I found them at Sia. Why do I have to go ahead and do this? Guess what? If you didn't do this, Mimashkin, they would take a mashkin, they take collateral to make sure that you're going to bring that nesach. So initially, mimashkin mitzia, actually maybe nisacheha. So guess what? You know what people began to do? If they see animals walking around with no one, they would, in the words of Snagglepuss, they would exit stage left. They wouldn't be there at all, right? They wouldn't. I need this. It's going to cost me money to go ahead and bring this. They wouldn't do it. They got to get out of there. So Eskinu Bezdin, Sheyu Nisachecha Boy Mishal Tzibur. So the Tanai Bezdin was that you bring the mitzvah, and guess what? It's not going to cost you anything. The nesachim will go ahead and bring. We'll bring it from the lishkas hashkalim. We'll bring that for you. You don't have to worry about it. That was the first Tanai of 7 that the Mishnah will discuss. Guys, you good? Guys, you good? Everything's good. Now, Amrav Shimon, Zayin Devarim Eskinu Bezdin, Ze'echa Mehem. They made 7 takanis, 7 tanoim, and this is the first one of them. That what? If you find an animal and you're bringing it as a mitzvah, that it's a carbon, you don't have to worry about it. The Nesachim, the Beis HaMikdash, the communal fund will take care of it. That's the first one. The second one, Nachri Sheshalach Eilaslim Medinas Hayam. A guy, we will accept karbanis from a guy, only a carbon oila, and he brings it l'chayim Medinas Hayam. Now, what happens if you live in Yerushalayim? Could he bring a carbon? Yeah, I guess they didn't have so many animals living there. I don't know, a goyim living there. I'm not sure. The Shalach Iman Nesachim, and they sent with him the Nesachim. Now they can't send this Nesach, a guy's tameh, means he sends money to buy the company Nesachim. Crave Mishalah, we'll take that money, we'll do everything. Vim Lav, Crave Mishal Tziba, that's the second tonight. That if the goyis will also, similar to the mitzvah, which will bring from the communal fund, also then the sachem of a goy will bring from the communal fund. Those are 2 tanoim. Those are 2 tanoim. Who's coming in now? Penny's back. Okay.
How do you know? How do you know if that Ola wasn't a avodah zarah from the guy?
What?
How do you know? How do you know if that Ola that is it money he's sending or is he sending the animal? The guy.
The guy's sending an animal.
So how do you know it's not a avodah zarah? That it's an Ola.
Avodah zarah. Why is he sending it to the Beis HaMikdash?
Well, because he's a guy, like I'll send him here's what my gift is an avodah zarah. What does he know?
It's avodah zarah. You give to your avodah zarah.
No, I'm saying, why would they accept?
I know what you're saying, and I'm saying otherwise. You're not listening to me. If a guy is sending a carbon to the Beis HaMikdash, obviously it's not avodah zarah. He's sending it to the God of the Jews. Why in the world would he be sending it to the Beis HaMikdash?
I'm saying it'd be chayshish, Dad.
Well, I'm asking you. It makes no sense. I'd love to give you cover, but logically it makes no sense, Hesh. Why in the world is he sending? Again, it's like you voting Democrat. It's you voting for Biden, and then you go ahead and you go to a Trump campaign. What are you doing? Okay. Anyway.
Okay. All right. I accept what you're saying. Okay.
You have to accept it because it's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you a double pashut. Okay. Anyway. So you have two. The third one, a ger dies, leaves animals, so we have a mitzvah, we have a goy, and we have the ger. The Tanai Bezdin who al kain gadol shemes shetemin chasoi krev mishal tziba. Okay, this is the hard gemara we're going to get to. A kain gadol, guys, he brings every day a minchas chavitin. He brings the minchas chavitin of a kain gadol. He brings here a sern of flour, half in the morning and half in the afternoon. He goes in and dies. That there'll be crave of shal tzibor. They'll bring it from the tzibor. Rabbi Yehuda says Mishal Yarshim. You're going to bring it from his Yarshim, and not only that, ushleima hoisa kreva, and they'll bought it shalem, meaning, guys, he bought it in the morning. He died before the afternoon, so they're going to go ahead and bring, says Rabbi Yehuda, not a half. You're going to bring a whole. From that whole, you're going to half. Bring over half, and you're going to have a leftover half. That's the machlokes what you do with that leftover half, whether it goes to the Yamamelach or it goes to the Nadava. Okay, so it's shleima. You never bring a chatzi. You're going to bring a whole ephah. You're going to bring a whole isarim. That's another condition. That the salt and the eitzim, the kahanim, they can use him, and you don't have to worry about me'ilah. And the parva is no din of me'ilah and it's efer. We said this yesterday. The kingdom that apostle, we said the case yesterday. You found money in between the shofar of kingdom and the shofar of goizlei oila. We said that you're going to go ahead and bring it as an oila, but then since the possibility exists that a woman is not going to have a chatas, you would go ahead and provide. You'd go ahead and bring another pair, and one is the chatas. We said you can bring a chatas, guys, as a suffix, even though you don't know for sure. If you remember that, the kohen just won't eat it, and that came from the tzibor. Rabbi Yossi Yama, he didn't come from the tzibor. He disagrees. He says, the one who was the vendor to provide birds, who mesapiges apsulais, he would go ahead and provide the psulais. So those are the 7 conditions. Okay. The next piece of Gemara is Ma'od Kasheh. The difficulty is the girsa. I found the girsa, guys. I found this girsa better, so I'm going to use this girsa. Okay, can you see this? No, it's I don't know why I can't. Maybe I can make it bigger. No, I just lost it. I think
we see it.
No, you
think a little smaller. A little smaller. Missing it on the right.
No, I just got it off the screen. I don't know where it went. I went over here, but I have to make you can't see this whole thing, right? You can only see part of it.
Cut off a little bit.
You see it's cut off. Okay.
A little more. Good. Now? That's good.
How do I make this bigger?
That's it.
There must be a way to make this bigger.
You can see it.
Maybe I can stretch it. Let me second. Let me see. No, I don't think I can make it bigger.
Well, try now. Maybe the borders went out a little bit.
This is
one
better,
more.
right?
Try one more.
What?
Try plus one more time.
I think it'll be too big.
That's
now.
it.
No, it's good.
No,
it's good.
too big.
No,
now
now it's too big.
Go back one. Let's go back one, and that's it. What? You got a bigger? No, the other back way.
Too big.
One more. One more.
Okay.
Good. That's it.
All right. Could write
Okay,
my eye prescription.
let's go along with this, guys. Okay. Let's go along with this. Now, what's the problem over here is you said the halacha is if you find a male, you're going to bring it as an oila. But why don't you think that maybe it could be a shlomim? After all, shlomim are brought by males as well. So let's go along with this. So this is the Gross says at Soif HaPiska until the end of this statement, Mishubush, it's all corrupted. And let's be the following gersa. That, in other words, you say unequivocally, if it's a male, it's an oila. What are you talking about? Shlomim also can be males. So Rabbi Omar, the Great says, Lavai b'demeim. What it means is that not that you bring the animal itself. If you find a male animal, you do not bring it. What it means is for its value, you will bring an oila. So what do? You bring 2 animals, guys, 2 regular chulindiker animals, and you say the following. If this is an oila, then animal number 1 is an oila, and the other one's a shlamim. And if this is a shlamim, then animal number 1's a shlamim, and this is an oila. And then you go ahead, take that money, and buy oilais. So in other words, it doesn't mean that you're going to bring the original animal, because you have to take into account the possibility that's a shlamim. One second. There is a halacha that if you're a mazid, you're not machal money. In other words, if you're me'ila, for example, is when you're b'shogeg, you're moil behegdish, you go from one kedusha to another. How can you be mazid, be meschalel? You be meschalel. This animal is vadei kodesh, the animal. We don't know which one it is. It's either an oil or a shlamim, and now you're being meschalel b'mazid. Where can you do that? Amalei. So Rabbi Acha said, "Mekiven shetnai bezdin hu." Since it's tnai bezdin, ain't ze mazid. That's not considered a mazid, and therefore be meschalel. Amal Rabbi Yochanan says Rabbi Yochanan, "Aimim la'adam seil l'moil b'kachim." Right? You go ahead and be moil b'kachim, meaning you go ahead and take off kedusha without a mum, fellas. in order to go ahead and have an animal that's a carbon that is kedushas aguf, the only way to take off the kedusha is to be poida it. You can't be poida an animal that doesn't have a mum. So there's two problems over here. Initially, the mazid problem. That will tonight Bezdin takes care of that. But what about the tamimim? Ain't poidim tamimim. You can't be poida tamim the animals. What do you do about that? So we're changing gears now. Forget that teretz, guys. Elaholchim behem achaharoiv. We're going to bring this animal as a carbon. You're not going ahead and be mischalit. You're not taking other animals. The animal that you find, you bring as an oila. What's your kasha? Animals are what? Are shlamim. Says the Gemara, you're right, you could have, but roiv of the animals are oilais. Roiv of the male animals are oilais. And therefore, I'm not worried. Im roiv zacharim oilais, im roiv zavachim, the kevais zivche shlamim. That's one teretz. That's one teretz. Omrav Zira, Kamon, the At Omer Tamon, like they said in front of us, Tanoi Bezdinhu, ala Voidai Kirvu Oilois. Right? Right? You said that on the Tanai Bezdinhu, ala Avuda, that's lost, Shiakrivu Oilois. Kena to Oima Oifachen, Tanai Bezdin, ala Avuda Shiakrivu Oilois. Okay, what does this mean? Let me get you back. We said, guys, if you go ahead and you find, if you go ahead and you find money in between the two kinim, you're saying one of them is a chatas, correct? I said, Tanai Bezdin says you bring it as an oila. So who within over here, Tanai Bezdin says you bring it as an oila. So that's the gears of the gra that, so we took into, there was three kashas. One, how can you mischal b'mezid? Tanai Bezdin. How can you mischal tamimim? So because of the kasha of the mischal tamimim, we're saying einachinami. Einachinami, you can't be, well, but we're speaking about bringing the animal itself. You bring the animal itself, you don't bring another one. I'm going to go after the roiv. And what does the roiv state? The Tanai Bezdin states that what? That guess what? In this case, if it's a shlamim, we'll switch it to an oila. The same way by the birds, if it was a chatas, we switched it. Okay? And you don't have the problem over here by chatas. By chatas, it was a choiv, so they had to bring another set. You had to bring another set. Why? Because it was a woman needed it. Mashenkin over here, when Mashenkin over here, where it's just an adava, then you don't have to worry about it. I'm just gonna excuse myself.
Remember to record, Rabbi.
Okay, I'm recording now. Okay, so now we're going to start from Omer of Yasa ad Onotoma Shmias Kol. You're up to on right? So we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, about that's 7 lines down, right? Omer of Yasa ad Onotamon ad Yomid Beis, like 7 lines down. So Omer of Yasa ad Onotamon until while I was still in Bavel, we just had this Gemara. Shamis called Rabbi Yehuda Shol Shmuel. I heard the voice of Rabbi Yehuda asking Shmuel, "Hifish shiklo yimes." The guy is mafish his shkolim and he dies. Amalei yiplu nedava. What's going to happen to the shkolim? They're going to go in the dava. The extra ones are going to go in the dava pushka. Umoiser asira seifa shaloi, and any leftover the kohen gadol has from his asira seifa will belong to him. Rabbi Yochanan lo yuchlu Yamamelach disagrees. The money has to go to Yamamelach. Rabbi Lazar yiplu in the dava. It goes in the dava to the Ketzam Mizbeach. So 3 shitas. Either it's his, or it's not anybody's. It's put in the Yam Melech for destruction, or it goes into the Nedava Pushka. Now, let's bring this up on the screen. This was last week's parsha. This is not what I want on the screen. Get rid of this. This is what I want on the screen. You can see that? No, you can't see it? You see something?
Yes, we do. We see the Ikra.
You see Vayikra. Okay, great. Oh, let me make it bigger. This is the carbon Aaron and his sons that they should bring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when biyom himashacho, so on the day that they begin, the day they are anointed to do their avodah. What do they bring? Asira sa'efa soiles, 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour, minchat tamid machtzisa ba'boiker u'machtzisa ba'orev. Now this, a kohen hedyot will bring once in his life, the first day that he serves. Once in his life, the first day that he serves. However, right, look at the Rashi. Guys, afa hedyot makrivina asira sa'efa biyom shehem mischanchem la'avoida. Aval kohen gadol b'chol yoim. Shnema minchas tamid v'kohen HaMashiach tachta mibonav choik olam. So this is what's called the minchas chavitin of a kohen gadol. It's brought once by what the day starts, and the kohen gadol brings it not only the day he starts. Actually, the day he starts, he brings two. He brings one as the day himashach. Actually, he brings three. He brings three. It's the Gemara Menachos. He brings three. So anyway, l'chol hapachos. What is it, guys? Al machavas bashemen te'aseh. It's made in a flat pan with shemen, murbeches. It's scalded with water. To Vienna, you should bring it. To Pune, it's baked. Minchas pitim, it's crumbled up. Taker vrech nichoyel Hashem. So look at Rashi explains. What's murbeches? Chaluta beroistin. It's scalded in boiling water called sarchai. And tipune is afuyos harbe. It's baked very often. Achach litasa, Rashi tells you, after you would scald it, oifa betaner, you'd bake it in an oven. V'chayzer, and you then would go ahead, umitagna, and you'd fry it b'machvas in a pan, and then you crumble up into pieces. So you have 3 steps. You have it scalded, baked, then fried and crumbled. This is what's called the minchas chavitin. Now it's brought from an asira sa'efa and half and half. Now when you bring it, do you bring 2 halves or you bring a whole and then you half? So this Gemara is discussing that korban that I just showed you on the screen. It's discussing the minchas machavas. This is it's called the minchas machavas of a kohen gadol. So says the Gemara. Asira sefer shel kohen gadol. Rabbi Yochanan Amar chutz oisa. First, you would go ahead and divide it. The achachach mekadsha, and then you be magdash it. So first it's choil, and then you magdash it. Rabbi Shimon Lakish, no, mekadsha. First you magdash it, you make it holy, and then the achachach chutz oisa, and then you go ahead and you divide it. So Rabbi Yochanan first divide. Reish Lakish first mekadesh. Keep it in mind. Masnisan, we're going to learn 2 kashas on Rabbi Yochanan, guys. Masnisan pligi al Rabbi Yochanan. Makriv mechza. Let's say the kohen goes ahead and dies. He brings half. So now you'd bring they would bring another one, and now, but from that other one you bring a whole, and then you would bring only part of it in the afternoon. So you had 2 extra halves. You had the extra half of the first kohen that's dead, and you have the extra half of the ones that they brought afterwards. You have 2 halves. So mechza you would bring, makriv mechza umechza ovid. And part you would go ahead and it would now, guys, if it's not kodesh, because first you divide it, why are you going ahead and avad? Why is it getting lost? Why do you have to destroy it? It's not kodesh. Like Rabbi Yochanan, first you divide it and then it's kodesh. So if you didn't or magdash it, why avad? Why does it have to be destroyed? Why does it go to Yam HaMelech, right? Kasha Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says mechza and then Magdasha, so don't be Magdasha. You won't have to go ahead and this is a Mishnah. Rabbi Yochanan can't argue on a Mishnah. Pasala, let's interpret the Mishnah. Guys, we saw 3 shitas. The extra of a kohen gadol, what happens? One says it's his. Rabbi Yochanan says it goes to the Yam HaMelech, and Rabbi Elazar said it goes to the Nadava. So very geschmack. Rabbi Yochanan says any extra of the kohen gadol is going to go to Yam HaMelech also. So the same thing over here. Avad, he has extra, right? It's extra. But goodbye, it's extra. That's the halacha. It's extra. I don't need it. It's going to the Yam HaMelech not because it's kodesh. It's going close to the Yam HaMelech because that's where it's supposed to go. That's where it's supposed to go. You're asking me on Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan holds any extra goes to the Yam HaMelech. We just saw that 2 lines ago. So very geschmack. Says the Gemara, Maslisam Polig Al. Now, we have a girsa over here, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. The Gra has the girsa of Rabbi Yochanan. Let's keep it with Rabbi Yochanan. Maslisam Polig Al Reish Lakish. Nimtzu shnei chatzoyin krevim u'shnei chatzoyin avudim. That 2 are lost and 2 are makrim, 2 are lost. V'tani Allah machza rishayin u'machza sheni te'ubet surasan v'yatz lebeis hasreifa. Guys, Loi Rabbi Yochanan, throw it in the Yam HaMelech. Why do you have to go ahead? Ubet Surasa means it's Kodesh, and I want it to become nicer. Right? Ubet Surasa means it's Kodesh. I can't do anything with it, so let me wait overnight and I'll burn it. Loi Rabbi Yochanan, throw it in the Yam HaMelech. You don't have to wait at all. Kasha on Rabbi Yochanan Shita. So Pasalah, Rabbi Shmuel Dama Isarin Magdish. Like Rabbi Shmuel holds that. He says that when you measure it, even before it gets into the klisharis, it's already kaddish. There's 2 shittas. There's kedushas that go in klisharis and kedushas damim. Rabbi Shmuel holds the Gemara Menachos that it already is kaddish kedushas damim. Therefore, you have to wait till it gets lost. That you can't just throw it. You have to abit surasam. It's speaking like that shita. This Mishnah that says that you have to go ahead and wait abit surasam is according to the shita of Rabbi Shmuel, and Rabbi Yochanan did not say his din in that shita. Now. Now, Kishakoyin Mischayev Techila Avoida, when the Koyin is called Techila to the Avoida, right? When the Koyin is called to Techila to the Avoida, maybe Asiris Ha'efa Shaloi, he would bring the Asiris Ha'efa, V'uvda, B'yadai Echad, B'yadai, Echad Koyin Gadol, B'yachad Koyin Hedyet, right? So we saw, guys, on the opening day of the guy working, he would go ahead and he would go ahead and they each would bring, whether it's a Kohen Hedyer or a Kohen Gadol, they each would go ahead and bring a Asiris Eifa. Now, Echad Kohen Gadol, Echad Kohen Hedyer, Sha'avdu, if they did the Avodah, actually a view Asiris Eifa, Shalahem, even if they didn't bring it, Avodah Kashera. The Avodah is Kasha. The Gross says puzzle. In other words, on the day when they begin, they're supposed to bring this carbon. What happens if they do the avodah without bringing this carbon? Is the carbon the one that infuses them with the ability to do the avodah or not? Says the Gemara, not. Kshera. Reb Mana boy meimar boy bayom sheneskarev tchila avodah boy bayom nisman aliyas kain gadol. He has maybe shtayim. He brings 2. Achas lechinuchay, one at the beginning of the work. The achas lechayves hayoim, and one for the chiyuv of the day. Now we said that we're gonna try to go ahead now and figure this word tipune, right? This word tipune. What did tipune mean? So you saw Rashi touched it. It's baked very, very well. We're going to see different opinions. Rashi is going according to one opinion. We're going to see various opinions. What does it mean? It's baked very, very well. B'shas haba tipune, ve'ein b'shachris tipune. It's baked when you bring it, but it's not baked in the morning. It's baked when you bring it, but it's not baked in the morning. Fred Gemara Kasha, there's a Mishnah in Talmud that's describing the opening bell. They wake up and one will walk one way and one walk the other way. The Kohanim walk around the Beis Hamikdash and they meet at the chamber where they would go ahead and make the minchas chavitim. Hemidu oisei chavitim, laseis chavitim, and they would meet by the oisei chavitim making chavitim, which is the chayra at night. So how can you say that they make it? B'shas they bring it. You see them meeting and they made it already in the night. Says the Gemara, bar acha laseis chamim l'revucha. It doesn't mean they baked it, guys. They were heating up the water to scald it. We said it has to be murveches, right? Murveches means it was scalded with water. So they met by this chamber where they were heating up the water from the night. But then chinami tipune only took place b'shas hakrava when they brought it. So again, what's the order we had? Scalding, baking, and frying. Tipune, what is tipune? Omer Rabbi Yasa b'shem Rav Chanina mitagna. He says not like Rashi. He says first you'd fry it, and then you would bake it. First you would fry it, and then you would bake it. So we had frying as the last step. He has it as the second step. Rav Acha b'shem Rav Chanina oifoisa v'yachach mitagna. That was Rashi. For that Rashi started this shita. First you bake it, and then you fry it. Tipuni, is teafena. No. Teafena no. You should bake it when it's nice. You should bake it when it's nice. Now, this is the shita that it was only scalded, because once you're going to go ahead and once you're going to go ahead, no is what is fried. Excuse me, I don't want to tell you the wrong shot. Hang on a sec. Okay.
No, it's like the Korban Pesach. It's not completely
Half baked. I know. No is. Okay. Now he's learning that no means it was fried. He says tipune no, bake it when it's fried. Rabbi Omer, he said, in other words, it should be cooked, like Avi's saying, it's cooked. But so when it's cooked a little bit, then fry it, then bake it. So it's baked after it's fried. Frying was the cooking. And Rabbi Omer, teafena is no'ah, from the lashon of pretty. Now, if you're going to fry it, it's not going to be pretty because it's going to be dark from the frying pan. So, like the first opinion, first you would bake it, first you would fry it, then bake it. Like the second opinion, first you bake it and then fry it. Because no'ah, it should be what attractive. It's a combination of the words tipune no. Rav Doisa Amar teafena riva, bake it very often, a lot. So asin Allah palgavasa, kahinin palgavasa. The palgasa, the plukta, but these two amaroyim, whether first you fry it and then bake it, or vice versa, is in fact the machloikis tanoyim. Mandi Amar teafena no'ah, you should bake it bake it first and then fry it. Kimanda Amar oifa ve'achach metagna. First you bake it and then you fry it. Umandi Amar teafena no'ah, bake it after it's cooked. Kimandi Amar metagna, first you fry it, ve'achach oifa, and then you bake it. Okay, leisayf davar shemeis. And going on, not only if we said the Kohen Gadol that you're going to bring another mincha in his place, not only if he dies, elafilu nitma, afilu nitcha mimon. Even what, even afilu nitma, afilu nitcha mimon. Even if he's tamei, or even if he's nitcha from a mum, you'd have other people go ahead and bring it. You have other people bring it. So, that process we said, that extra carbon, that half, when you bring the whole of the half, is not only if he's dead, but even if he's tamei, or even if he's what? No, it's even if he's suspended just for a little bit. Tani Rabbi Yehuda Bapazi Dava Dalia, that's the place. Even if he's permanently outside. How do you know if there's only one kohen? And how do you know the Yarshim should bring it? From his sons, you should bring it. I might think they only have to bring half, not a whole. Kula, a whole efa amati. Div Rabbi Yehuda. It doesn't come from the Yarshim, it comes from the Tzibur. Shnemar choykoi lam misha bris krusaloi, from someone what the bris krusaloi, and kolol takta means what, totally burnt. Kol haktara, you burn the minchas chavitim like a regular mincha of a kohen. Bes Hashem, we'll see you tomorrow.
Sure, thank you.